This is the Real Good Procast with your hosts, Declan DeBarb, Ian Blumenthal, and Marshall Heath.
Welcome, everyone, to the Real Good Procast. My name, Declan DeBarb, Ian Blumenthal to my left. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, everybody?
And a new guest on the show, my good friend, Mike Gould. How you doing, buddy?
I was better before you touched my shoulder, but thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, do you guys just want to jump into the discussion of today? There's a lot to cover. Obviously, trade deadline happened on Monday. There's plenty to talk about. Everybody from Ottawa moved to Columbus. Columbus got everybody in the league. Columbus might go out in the first round or win the Stanley Cup. There's no in between with Columbus. But
hey, second round, that's a possibility.
It never happened before. Never happened before with Columbus.
It's true.
Are they still the only team in the league to never win a playoff series? I think they are. I don't think they've even ever made it to an elimination game because they definitely didn't, like, in their favor. Because last year they lost in 6. Yeah.
I have no clue, but
that's a really funny
interesting stat.
True.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is true. Pretty sure that is true. Yeah.
But we'll touch on Columbus later. Why don't we start with Mark Stone? So Mark Stone moves to the Vegas Golden Knights, for those of you that don't know. In return, the Sens receive Eric Brandstrom, idolized as the top prospect in the Vegas system, Oscar Lindberg, and a 2020 second-round pick. Moments later, Stone signs an 8-year deal for $9.5 million. What do you guys have on that deal?
That's got to be a coincidence that he signed that. No way. Vegas didn't know they were going to sign him before the fact.
I mean, I think it's not unheard of. I would expect that Pierre Dorian probably gave them permission to negotiate.
100%. Yeah. There's no coincidence.
Yeah. So that is a bit of a question. $9.5 million, because is he really as good as Nikita Kucherov?
He's great.
Kucherov's on a sweetheart deal, man.
He is.
Kucherov is an outlier.
$11.7 million a year, 11.5 something like that.
11 points. Something like
574 or something.
But I mean, my initial reaction was that they got a little bit less than they could have in the Stone trade. But if that was the price that it took to re-sign Stone, I can kind of understand why they might have gotten less in a trade. Personally, that's just my opinion, because I know you don't agree that they got less.
Me and Mike went back and forth on Twitter. It's Declan. It's DeBarp14 for myself and Mike. Let's just plug our Twitters.
At Mike Gould CU, MikeGouldCU.
We were going back and forth a little bit on Twitter over this trade, and I like what the Sens got in return. I really like Brandstrom. He's a fast defenseman. He's good on his edges. He's got a great vision with the puck. He's a smart player, and he's a hard worker. The one knock on him is his shot. Most scouts agree he's a top 3 defenseman. Or his potential is to be a top 3 defenseman on any team. So I really do like that return. You weren't going to sign Stone, and that's why they traded him. So I think to get a player like Brandstrom, that's good. Obviously, Oscar Lindberg fills in the bodies, as Ottawa traded, as we mentioned, their entire team. And the 2020 second-round pick is a shot in the dark.
As it happens, when you're going to lose a player like that, and there was no chance he was going to re-sign, because they pretty much had negotiations, and then Dorian said, I'm sorry that we couldn't get you to sign or whatever. You know that you got to get something for him. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you just lose him at the end of the year and you don't get anything. John Tavares.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that a little later.
And so at least they got a solid prospect, a depth guy forward, and then a pick. A pick's always a good thing to have. Fills out your system, gets you a solid player, maybe, if you can develop them well. Ottawa's great at development.
Yeah, just they can't keep their guys. I guess my biggest problem with the deal is that it's just another left defenseman, and Ottawa already has a pretty darn good left defenseman in Thomas Chabot. But, I mean, at the same time, having good quality guys on both of your first 2 pairings is a really good thing to have if you're the Senators. And at the same time, they got a pick back, and I believe in the next 3 years they have, they got a second-round pick, so they're going to have 7 second-round picks in the next 3 years. And then they have 4 first-round picks in the next 3 years. And you make that, everybody talks about how the Sens don't have their first pick this year, which, obviously is a pretty big deal. But
especially when you're last place in the league.
In the entire league, yeah.
And Colorado, who is not last place in the league, is going to get Jacques Hughes.
But it's
good-
quite
good
possible Colorado does miss out, and they have two very good picks in their hands.
That's true.
It's true. Yeah.
Yep.
If I'm Colorado, I'm sitting nice and happy right now.
If I'm Colorado, I'd be like, man, if we're not that good this year, maybe why don't we just tank?
Yep.
And then we can get two first, like
Can
two,
you
like the first
tank
and
with
second
that?
pick.
But can you tank with that line, man?
Oh,
You,
believe me,
you
yes, you
scratch them.
Varlamov.
can. Yeah.
Who won
Varlamov.
first star in the NHL? last year?
Inconsistent.
true.
Varlamov
Yeah.
is so
Oh
inconsistent.
yeah, no,
It's-
100%.
Varlamov's a more inconsistent goalie than Mike Smith. Like he'll have a month where he just goes 750.
Pecorine?
Yeah.
Colorado currently 1 point out of the Western wild card.
One
That is
point.
not a big deal.
when
They
we record
suck.
February 27th.
Yeah. 1 point up on the Arizona Coyotes.
An injury-ridden Arizona Coyotes.
Yes.
Hey, the Arizona Coyotes are sick, and
They do have some good talent. I am a big fan.
OEL, Clayton Keller.
Clayton Keller's a very good player. Alex Galchenyuk is a very good player.
Galchenyuk is good, but I think that Max Domi has been better this year.
Oh, absolutely. But I think Galchenyuk, I mean, he got hurt really early on, and oh boy, he can one-time that puck. Oh, baby.
He's got some nifty mitts too.
Yeah.
Not as good as Max Domi. 5-point night last night.
It's true.
Had a great night last night.
Yeah.
Habs had a great night
The
last
Habs,
night. 8-1 winners. There was a
But they were playing Detroit, who just traded Nyquist.
There was
so,
a couple of blowouts in the NHL that all involved the last the teams that were fourth last
it was like
in the NHL.
Detroit, Ottawa.
Oh boy,
I have it
the
right.
Rangers,
I have it
LA.
right here. Give me a second.
Also, Max Domi this season is shooting 15%, which last year he shot 6%. So probably just regressing to the mean more closely. Like, I mean, I think last year was more he had a bad year than this year he's having a good year.
Yeah, but
So
like
yeah, no, exactly. No,
it's-
I'm agreeing.
Which
with
is
you.
why
Yeah.
I think that the Canadians actually had a really good pickup there last
yeah.
year.
No.
Which when the trade happened, I was kind of skeptical. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't really know. Like Montreal
me
probably
neither.
Seward and stuff.
Yeah.
When they started the season, I was like, they're not going to make the playoffs. Like this
Yeah.
team is trash.
Yeah.
But then look at what they're doing,
Yeah.
man.
They've
Like
been the surprise of everyone, and I mean, this is coming from Leafs fans.
Yeah.
The Habs,
Oh, I'm not a
you
Leafs
have a
fan.
good team this year, man.
you're no.
No need to block
No.
me on Twitter.
You're a pretty decent team.
Yeah, and I think Domi coming in has really helped with making Drouin play more in his position. I mean, he's having a great year too, way better than last year. And I think Shea Weber has been really, really good for them. Like, I mean, people always talk about how they lost that Subban trade, but man, they still got a really good player back. So, yeah, that's a good team. That should be interesting to see how they do in the playoffs.
But why don't we talk about very good player Mark Stone moving to Vegas? What does this mean for Vegas, who now gets a player that, I mean, they needed? They get that winger to help them score a couple more goals, to bring them closer to the likes of Tampa and San Jose as they try and race to get back to where they were and possibly win the Stanley Cup.
Vegas is scary. Like they're a good team. The West got better. Like the good teams in the West got better, and the bad teams are just still bad. That's kind of what happened on this trade deadline, I think.
Yeah.
And then like the East was like, our bad teams were like, take everybody the West,
Yeah.
and then / Ottawa was like, take our people, and
It was like, we're a team, I think, but
Philly was like, here's Wayne Simmons.
Yeah, I mean
And then
Vegas. Yeah. Oh boy, There's-
they're
yeah.
good.
I think the golf is just going to get bigger in the West. You're
And
going to have teams at the top and teams at the bottom, and
Yeah.
no one in between.
And which is like kind of different at the East because you have I think there's like 3 tiers or 4 tiers in like the East. I would say I think there's like Tampa,
That's
and then
it.
there's like Tampa's by themselves.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying anyone else.
Not
was
even
Tampa.
close.
Tampa,
Yeah.
and then it's like
Boston,
Washington, Boston, Toronto, New York
Yeah,
right
the
now.
Islanders. Yeah,
Um,
and I think that's about
and
it for that.
maybe Columbus. I would argue.
Well, Columbus is out
Would
of the
you
playoff
count?
spot.
But then I would.
Would
but
you
then I would
count
say the
Columbus
third tier.
in the second tier?
But then I
teams?
would- I would say argue Columbus.
I would argue their goaltending's in the second tier. They have ridiculous
Panarin.
goaltenders.
But
Columbus?
now they're in the second tier.
No. Sorry,
I think-
sorry, the Islanders. Did
Yeah.
you say
Oh.
the Islanders?
No, I
No,
said
it's like
Columbus.
Columbus. Yeah.
Sorry, I heard. The
I
Islanders.
also said
That's-
Islanders. Islanders was earlier.
Yeah,
I think
Columbus-
Islanders are tier 2. If
I
they're,
do not
if
think
you're
the
first in the
Islanders are tier
Metropolitan
2.
Division, and you like if you're this deep in the season and you're still first in the Metropolitan Division, I still would argue that they're in tier 2 right now.
Who?
The Islanders.
The Islanders. Yeah, no. I mean, the Islanders are just a great defensive team all around, which is ridiculous considering last year they were the worst one in the
And
league.
their goalies are playing great. And
Yeah.
I think
Out of their
that
mind, and Robin Leonard's a great story, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, all that mental health stuff, and then comes
Yeah,
back,
no.
killing it. Remember when he got pulled after that Leafs game and he was so mad at the coach?
What, in Buffalo or what?
Buffalo, when he was on Buffalo.
Yeah.
He got pulled. Like, we scored, I think, like 3 goals in like 2 minutes or something. Because, like, the Leafs do that sometimes. Like, you're terrible most of the game.
Did it happen twice? Because that happened last night or the night before when Toronto was playing Buffalo?
2 nights ago.
It was 2 nights ago. Toronto played Buffalo and chased Hutton with 3 goals.
It wasn't this time. It was like last season. And they got Leonard pulled, and I felt bad because he was pissed. You could tell because it was not fair. Those shots were snipes, and like you can't do anything to stop it. But so I think that New York is that tier 2, and then your tier 3 would be I don't know
Montreal, Carolina.
Montreal. Exactly, Carolina,
Pittsburgh. I mean, we're just now getting to Pittsburgh.
You could argue tier 2 solely for the fact that when you hit the playoffs and you got Crosby, Malkin, and even Murray in net.
There's no predicting that. Yeah.
And Chris Letang's having a great year this year.
Yeah.
So going into the playoffs and you have those big guys that have the experience. They have 3 cups.
Yeah.
Like, you can't argue with a cup ring.
Yeah.
You can never count out Pittsburgh, but I think they're on their way down. I think the dynasty is over. If you call that a dynasty.
I hope it's over because I do not want them winning another goddamn Stanley Cup while the Leafs are this good.
I mean, and you look at the East, and there's 9 playoff caliber teams probably vying for 8 positions, and you wonder which team is going to miss. And oh boy, wouldn't it be something if it was Columbus?
Oh, I would laugh so hard.
I mean, I think Ottawa would be very happy, and I think they would feel it's a little bit of karma coming back to them.
Yeah.
Remember when Duchesne was like, I just want to go to the playoffs.
Oh my god.
You know the Eric Andre meme where he's outside of the White House and he's like, let me in! That's Duchesne.
The playoffs is the White House.
But anyway, we were talking about Vegas.
Yeah, but I think that Mark Stone to Vegas is obviously good. I think he's super underrated given the fact that he's playing in Ottawa.
Yeah.
I think that his contract will look better as it ages. I think the cap will continue to go up. And will continue to go up. Brandstrom, a 19th.
For a player like Stone, $9.5 million a year, I don't think that's overpaying.
It's rich, but I think it's justifiable.
Well, I wouldn't justify paying Mitch Marner anything more than that.
Yeah.
I couldn't justify that anymore. Seeing this, if Mitch Marner makes 10, I'm like, how? Mark Stone is almost on the franchise level player.
And he was
Mark
UFA.
Stone, top 20 player in the league.
He's so good.
I would say he's probably top 20 forward in the league. That's where I would stop.
Okay, fair.
But all I was saying when I was saying his contract is expensive is that it would have dissuaded a lot of teams from getting involved, which might have dropped out
which is why Ottawa didn't get as much in return.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, there were reports that Winnipeg was in on him. Nashville was also
Calgary
in on
was
him.
in on him.
But then Winnipeg got out pretty early.
Yeah, because they went for
Winnipeg
Hayes
was
instead.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, because then they went, we're just going to get Hayes.
And I think they paid a lot for Hayes.
Yeah, because I mean, Calgary I think it was Pierre LeBrun who said that Calgary was expecting to get Stone late on the night before the deadline, but they didn't want to give up Valimaki and then have to sign him to a 9.5-year deal.
That's very fair.
And so that's again the kind of thing that
they
might have missed out on.
Like Gaudreau, they have to sign.
Yeah, well, they have to sign Kachuk.
They have to sign Kachuk.
Yeah, and
I thought Stone would have been a great fit on Calgary, though. I think that he's the same player that they thought Neil was going to be when they signed him this summer.
Yeah. But Neil has not been performing to what he...
No, he hasn't.
Which he was performing like crazy in Vegas.
Yeah. James Neal has been suffering through some injuries, I suspect, all season because, man, his positioning has been poor. They're also not utilizing him very well on the power play. He's been standing in front of the net, whereas he should be taking one-timers, in my opinion. But, yeah, they're kind of trying to make him like into what they were doing with Troy Brouwer. Didn't work.
Yeah, no.
Didn't work then.
With a guy of that skill caliber and just like that ability in hockey, like you don't need to be that bang and crash guy in front of the net, especially on a power play.
Yeah.
Like you get JVR to stand in front of the net. We have John Tavares, but like I can see John Tavares doing that because you have Mitch and you have Matthews on the sides and you got Riley at the top. So then you get Tavares in the middle because he has a great shot, but he's so good with his hands in tight. Mm-hmm. And he's a big body.
And I mean, you've seen the passes that he's been making. The Leafs have been doing the tic-tac-toe with, I mean,
when you go like down to the
it was
goal
Kadri
line
before, and now it's Janssen, and It's been working wonders, but I think we spent enough time on this Stone topic.
Yeah.
Very good pickup from Vegas, I think, general consensus. But also, I think Ottawa got something good in return for a player that they weren't expecting to re-sign.
It's a valuable asset.
Yeah,
Why don't we
get assets?
Why don't we talk about another player that Ottawa wasn't expecting to re-sign in Matt Duchene?
Yeah.
He's off to Columbus with Julius Bergman. In return, they got a first-round pick. The other first-round pick is conditioned on Matt Duchene re-signing. Jonathan Davidson and Vitaly Abramov are the two prospects going back Ottawa's way. The book on Abramov is that he's a very skilled guy, good shot, but he just lacks that speed, where for Davidson, it's the other way around. He's a dynamic skater, but other than that, he seemed to be a reliable guy that can fit into a team's top 9 in the future, but nothing more than that. What did you guys make of this deal? Real quick.
I didn't think Duchene was going to ever resign, so if you're getting anything back for this guy, it's positive. I don't mind what they got back, and don't they have the conditional first-round pick?
If
Duchene
resigns. And I could see Duchene resigning in Columbus.
Like, I don't see a problem with it. Like, it's a nice city. Like, they have a fun team there. Like, fans are good. It's a fun arena. Like, the cannon that goes off. Like,
yeah,
I don't mind it there. So I would say, like, for a guy of Duchene's caliber, when you're signing there, he's going to be one of the top guys there, and I think he likes being that.
Yeah, no, and I think
one of the top guys.
If Panarin's gone, they'll have the money to sign him.
Exactly.
And I think Duchene will like it there, and I mean, obviously it's all just speculation, but they're gonna be clearing out a lot of salary this summer because they're probably gonna get rid of Alex Wenberg, who's on a really long deal, who Duchene is basically displaced in the lineup. Panarin's gonna be gone, and so
probably
he'll probably be a Florida Panther, I expect.
Oh my God, Florida's gonna be scary.
They are. If they've signed Panarin, I know, but like to get two, I was really happy actually. If I was a Sens fan, I'd be very happy with what Dorian did here. To get 2 first-round picks for Matt Duchene.
Conditional.
If
he resigns, which there's a good chance he will.
But if he resigns, I'd be like over the moon to get that. I mean, plus 2 prospects who, I mean, yeah.
And I mean, there's always the possibility Columbus could fall out of that playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I mean, it is a conditional lottery protected pick. If it's a top 3 pick, but I don't expect it.
Maybe Ottawa might have had the foresight to do that with their pick if it was a top 3 pick.
Imagine that.
The one thing that I think Duchene would re-sign, like almost 100%, if they make the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
'cause he's never seen the playoffs before.
Well, he has once, but yeah.
Whoa, when did he make the playoffs?
Colorado 2014.
Yeah, Duchene.
Oh,
Duchene has played 700 regular NHL games. He's only played 8 career playoff games.
Yeah, so I think
passed one round.
He missed. He has passed one round in 2010, his rookie season. And that was when they still had, guys like Milan Hajduk around, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, they sure did. So
Jeez.
Paul Stastny. Second scorer was Chris Stewart, Calgary Flames legend. Chris Stewart.
Trash.
But I mean, the other player that Columbus got from Ottawa was Ryan Dzingel.
Who Matt Duchene picked up in his private jet
like
while he was picking up his family.
Can we also appreciate that Ryan Dzingel didn't get to sit with the Duchene family? He had to sit at the back of the plane.
That would have been
and he
so
was just
awkward.
like there. He was just happy to be there. He was like, "What's up, guys? Like, I'm here too."
Like, yeah, I get to leave Ottawa. Get to make the playoffs.
That'd be. Imagine that feeling. Like you're on Ottawa. It's a dumpster fire all year. That Uber scandal. Everything goes down, and then Columbus. We're probably gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It would be pretty sick.
That's pretty much what Duchene felt when he left Colorado.
Yeah, the first time. And now he just gets propelled into a situation that's so much worse. Like, I mean, I think Dzingel might actually. I think Dzingel indicated that he would like to re-sign in Columbus, and I can see them going for it again if they get rid of Wenberg. Because he's a good player. He's fast. He can really shoot the puck. He's the kind of player that you would love to have on your second line.
He was like top 6 guy in Ottawa. It wasn't hard to do.
I also do think they sold really high on Dzingel.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Fair, 2 seconds.
I don't. And
Duclair.
I think those are 2 great play. That's a great player.
But he does have. I don't know if it's like.
I don't know.
I forget how to phrase it, but like
inconsistency.
John Tortorella. No, like coaches don't like coaching
Yeah.
him because he doesn't know how to like learn. Apparently, that's what like
Well,
John Tortorella
yeah.
said. He was like, I just honestly don't. There was a quote like last week or something where he was like, I honestly don't know like what's going through the kid's mind. Like we
Yeah.
teach him new things and he's like seems to be understanding, but then he like doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I think that it just might not be the coaching style that John Tortorella. John Tortorella's a little rough around
but
the
this
edges.
is his fifth team, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
He's
Duclair's
23.
yeah, he's 23.
He's
It's his
played for the
fifth
Rangers,
team.
the Coyotes, the Blackhawks, the Blue Jackets, and the Senators now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Like it's been like a recurring problem,
and the
which is
thing
why
is,
he keeps moving.
The thing is with Duclair is that he starts off really hot whenever he goes to a new team, and I think it's because teams get the book on him after a little while, and then he can't change. And so then they're like, okay, well, we better give him another fresh start. And so he's playing against new teams that haven't had the chance to scout him. And so he does really well, and then he can't adapt. And I think that's what Tortorella is getting to, is that he's trying to get him to change his style a little bit, but he doesn't.
won't.
He won't, because he's used to scoring, because he came into the league as a rookie and scored like 24 goals for Phoenix.
And now you're like, be more of a bang and crash, or like,
Yeah.
change your style a little bit.
Yeah, because
tip more.
that's what's important in the playoffs.
Yeah,
And,
you need physicality,
Yeah.
not necessarily fighting, but you need
No.
to like push
yeah,
people around.
You need
a
some
rough and
snarl.
tumble
Yeah.
player.
Some snarl.
Yeah.
You need to push some guys around, and like Duclair would just be like, I just want to score a goal.
And I wonder, you know what? I wonder if Duclair, playing on a team that has absolutely no playoff aspirations and who's going to be playing teams that might take them lightly, will do really well in Ottawa, because he's going to be playing in a low pressure environment where he's not really going to be expected to play a non-finesse style. And he already scored a goal. So we'll see. It was like his second goal in the last 4 months.
Oh my! And it was like his new team.
Yeah, exactly.
Which-
So,
Duclair's also up at the end
year.
of the year, and
But he'll be an RFA thing. Or no, he's going to be
he's a UFA
It's
At
this
age.
year, his
Wow.
first UFA year. I think.
wow, and he's 23.
and he's 23.
That's crazy. Wow.
So
5 teams.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That is really nuts.
a guy that's
And
bounced
for a
around
guy
the
that's
league.
like, he does perform.
He does,
at the NHL level. At times, you're
Yeah.
like, you should be able to figure it out. Like how.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Reminds me of Rene
Yeah.
Bourque a little bit.
But I mean, we're talking playoffs, and a big ad that a lot of teams were trying to get was some snarl. The Columbus Blue Jackets, shifting gears a little bit, they picked up Adam McQuaid on the day, a guy that was heavily linked with the Toronto Maple Leafs, to add a little bit of that snarl. But they also picked up Keith Kincaid, and they gave up a lot of draft picks.
Yeah.
Columbus is in win now mode. What do you guys make of that?
Oh.
Do you think Columbus made the right decision on
No.
on
Well,
deadline day?
They threw their future in the trash to have like a 5% chance of winning the cup this year.
Yeah.
So, as much as I don't agree with it, they already didn't have that many picks, and they were gonna lose their main guy. So they were like, "Let's fuck it, dude." They literally went, "Fuck it, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go for it right now."
I mean, it's almost like Jarmo Kekalainen saw what he did last year, and like when he like gave up some assets for Ian Cole, Thomas Vanek, and Mark Letestu. And he was like, we made it. We held with the cup champs for a few games. I'll just do that again, but bigger. And maybe it'll work again this time. And I don't agree with it. I don't like, and especially giving up picks for McQuaid and Kincaid.
Yeah.
2 guys who are some of the worst players in the league at their respective positions. Keith Kincaid has one of the worst save percentages in the entire NHL this year. And McQuaid, I mean,
He's also played on the New Jersey
Devils. That is true.
Like that. I'll give him that. That's the only thing I'll give him. Otherwise, yes.
That is
trash
true.
save percentage.
That is true. But also Adam McQuaid. I mean, again, who has played on one of the worst defensive teams in the NHL in New York.
But he also just
I
can't
think the Leafs
skate.
should pick him up and give him a good run for the playoffs. Because
God.
that feels physicality for the Leafs.
Okay,
No
Brian.
way.
Okay, Brian. Okay, Brian. Okay, Brian.
Chuck Dillon's? That'd just be so bad.
I think that was like almost like word for word a Brian Burke quote from the trade deadline.
you look at teams adding like big, rough and like tumble guys to their bottom pairings.
Lucic. Oh wait, I was like rough until
Not quite, but and that so seldom works. I mean, the only guy who I can really think was brought in as strictly as a physical guy for the bottom 2 pairings and really worked out wherever he went was Derek Engelland. And I can't, like, really, when I'm thinking of guys like Adam McQuaid, they very rarely make a big difference. You need to look for guys who can move the puck better. That's what Michael Kempney was for Washington last year.
Do you know who's a big physical defenseman who can also move that puck around?
Wait.
Is it Ron
Bufflin?
Heyman?
Jake Muzzin.
Oh. Oh yeah, okay.
who, if the Leafs got on deadline day, I think nobody would be freaking out like they are in Leafs Nation. I mean, we'll get to that later, but I think that Jake Muzzin is exactly the kind of guy that the Leafs needed. I don't want to dwell too much time on this. We've already spent a bunch of time, but when I saw Adam McQuaid come off that trade board, I think I sent you a message right away, and
Thank
thank God.
Yeah, no, I mean, Adam McQuaid is a Dollar Tree Jake Muzzin, like in almost every respect.
Not even a Dollarama, a Dollar Tree, because it's like a
Max
step
124.
below.
The Dollarama of Dollaramas. That's what Adam McQuaid
I mean,
is.
what I said is that like guys who,
Thrift store.
if you try and get like a guy like Adam McQuaid to play on your bottom pairing, it very seldom makes a positive difference. Jake Muzzin's entirely different because like
Jake Muzzin's a
yeah,
great player.
because he's
He
an
moves the
actual
puck.
good defenseman
he
who's
can
like
skate.
been a Stanley Cup champion, playing a big role, and played on a World Cup team. Like, I mean, that's a guy with some history.
He's a great player, and if he's kind of a rental because he only has one more year.
After
But I
this
think
one,
we probably will be able to re-sign him depending on how the cap stuff works.
well, I mean,
out.
Marlowe comes off the books next year.
After next
Yeah,
year,
exactly. And the cap goes up like $3 and a bit
And
million a
Hainsey
year.
comes off the book next year, I believe.
Hainsey's not pushing that much on the cap though.
He's like $3.5 million or something.
Yeah, like that's a weird contract, I gotta say.
well, we got him from Pittsburgh after we lost Hunwick. Did
Got
we
him-
trade Hunwick for Hainsey or
No,
something?
Hainsey was the UFA.
No, yeah, Hainsey like walked and we signed him, and they signed Hunwick, who walked. We like traded Dean, who are both trash and wear number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Hunwick. But I just sticking on the Columbus thing. So Columbus picked up 4 players on deadline day. 4 big players on
And
deadline
how many
day.
picks did they lose?
All 4 of them are unrestricted free agents at the end of the season.
Yeah.
If they can sign 2 of them,
That'd
it's
be
not
kinda
bad.
successful. And
For those 4 unrestricted free agents, they gave up 7 draft picks, including 2 first-round picks. 1 is conditional on the Matt Duchene trade, and 2 second-round picks.
I mean, that's just playing.
That
with
is
fire.
betting the farm on.
Today.
That's betting the farm on today, and I
On
like
wait,
it.
no, sorry. On June.
Yeah, I can.
April.
I can very easily list 10 teams who I think have a better chance of winning the Stanley Cup. Than
Oh
Columbus.
yeah, no, I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, once
Yeah.
you get into the dance, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You
guess.
get there, and man, Columbus can surprise some people.
Bob
I think.
could do it.
Columbus is either going out in the first round or they're winning the Stanley Cup. There is no in between.
What I said
They're
last
gonna
year, too.
lose in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, and I'm gonna laugh in your face and be like, "Told you, they could lose at different points."
Yeah, we're gonna have a Columbus, Arizona Stanley Cup final.
Columbus,
Brad Richardson.
Get the
Arizona.
lowest viewings of any Stanley Cup Final
since,
of all
since
time.
Ottawa, Anaheim. That was a great Stanley Cup final.
No, what we need is Florida Panthers and Arizona Coyotes.
That'd
in
be
the
a
Cup
great.
final.
Yeah, the loser gets to
All
relocate.
8 fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll
Are you
show up and they'll
including
be
desk
like,
fans in that?
No, we can get some bandwagon fans.
And it's-
So like 24.
It's okay to make fun of that because Vinny Viola, who's the owner of the Florida Panthers, is a friend of Donald Trump. Nominated by Donald Trump to be a cabinet secretary.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
That is
so-
a true story.
That
That's
is
funny. I did not
100%
know that. I didn't know that. That's
That is
super hilarious.
100%.
It's 100% true.
Remember when they sent their coach in a taxi?
That is, yeah. The Florida Panthers.
And then do you remember when he
Classy
signed with Vegas
organization.
and brought them to the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah, along with 2 of their former top 6 forwards.
Who they both of them they didn't need to give up? Oh,
Marchessault.
Marchessault and Riley Smith.
Who did? What's it called? Who traded William Karlsson?
Columbus. Yeah, it was Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he had a 40-goal campaign, and everyone was
great.
like, "Whoa!" And then he
Whoa,
bet on
yeah.
himself, and then that failed because he's not killing it this year.
Yeah, he has 39 points in 64 games. Solid second line center production, William.
Decent.
Yeah.
It's better than what he was producing before.
Oh, yeah, no, he had 25 points in 81 games the year before. On pace for a solid 25 goal season this year.
That's solid.
Solid.
Third line.
Yeah. Behind Stasny.
Our top 2 centers both have hit 30.
I like how you
Just
say
saying.
our.
Austin Matthews
Yeah.
just hit.
I'm not a Leafs
Our.
fan. Oh, okay. All right.
Yes,
All right.
this
I
is
understand.
our thing.
I understand. I understand.
Get out of here, Mike.
I'm
Who
just
do
a
you think
guest.
you are?
Guest.
All right. Fine.
Why don't we
Yeah,
shift
like
gears a little
our
bit?
podcast logo is literally the Leafs logo.
Third best Canadian team.
Okay.
I would say second. Like they're
Yeah.
ahead of Winnipeg right now.
It's close.
I think they're a better team than Winnipeg.
The West sucks.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think they're a better
You're in
team
the
than Winnipeg.
worst division in the league.
Pacific? Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, were you gonna try to argue? You'd be like, no,
Actually, I disagree. I think the
no, my dad could beat up your dad.
I think the Central's better. Or I mean, I think the Central's worse because the Pacific has the 2 best teams in the West.
No, they're just top heavy.
Okay.
That's like saying the Western Conference in basketball is better than the
I
Eastern
don't know
Conference
anything about basketball, so.
because Golden State's in the Western Conference.
You've lost both of us.
Is Kevin Garnett still playing?
Lakers aren't even in the playoff spot. They have a better chance of winning the first overall draft pick than
How's
making the
Andrea
playoffs this
Bargnani
year.
doing?
Yeah. How's Amari Stoudemire?
How about Dirk Nowitzki?
Oh, yeah, he's still playing.
Yeah, I know he's still playing. I
Yeah,
love
I
Dirk.
know.
So, but I mean,
Basketball is sick.
we're
I like
talking
it.
West Coast. Why don't we talk about the ads that the Central Division has done? We'll start in Winnipeg, who picked up Kevin Hayes for a first-round pick, Brendan Lemieux, as well as a conditional 4th in 2022 if Winnipeg wins the Stanley Cup.
You know what? Screw Brendan Lemieux. You can't steal Mario Lemieux's last name.
Yeah.
That's his last name. You can't have the same one.
Is he Claude Lemieux's kid? I think he is.
Oh.
That could be wrong, but I think he is. And he plays
I don't know.
plays sort of a similar style without sort of the offense. But yeah, it's like Winnipeg just can't stand the thought of having Brian Little in their top 6. So every year they go out and they get a different top 6 center. To
Last
push
year they got
push him
Stastny.
down.
This
So
year
this
they
year they
get
get Kevin Hayes,
Hayes.
and I think they like, I know Winnipeg was really mad that they didn't get to keep Paul Stastny after last year, and so
Fair.
I think they'll really push hard to keep Hayes.
I think they could.
Yeah, well, I think they could too.
Because, and what they gave up, it was
It's a decent
amount for what
Yeah.
they're getting, especially because it's a rental player that you're not guaranteed signing. If they had, had a contract with Kevin Hayes and, Kevin Hayes re-signed with them immediately, I would have been like, good trade.
Yeah.
That's legitimate. He re-signed with them. He's already, with them, what Mark Stone did pretty much. I would be like, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But when you're not confirmed with this, and it happened last year with Stastny, and then they lost in the second round.
Yeah,
third
to Nash.
round. Yeah, they
third
lost to
round
Nashville.
No, they lost to
They lost to
Vegas.
Vegas.
They
They
beat
beat
Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah.
But I mean, Winnipeg. It looks like that acquisition for Kevin Hayes is working. Or I mean,
They
if
won.
you want
Did
to
they
say
win last night? Yeah.
Laine,
Ha.
4 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, Patrick
Well, you
Laine.
know
Looks like
where
he's back.
Kevin Hayes was on the ice for 0 of those
He
games.
was, but Laine's
Goals.
getting going, and I think that Hayes will only help with that. I think he's a pretty good playmaker.
Isn't Laine his first line? Or
Laine
did he
plays
get moved
second
to the
line.
Second line because he's trash
It's
now.
Kyle Connor. It's Kyle Connor,
Mark
Scheifele,
Scheifele
and
Wheeler.
Wheeler.
Because the first line, first line.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about second line.
I think that it's a good acquisition to help a struggling Laine.
And also the Jets lost last night. They didn't win.
Well, Kevin Hayes wasn't in the lineup, I don't think, was he?
I believe he was. Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, no, wait, that would make sense
he
because Mark
played.
Stone played.
Kevin Hayes played 16 minutes last night. So
That's nothing.
16. It's good for. Let me see.
Second line center.
Yeah, he played less than. No, he played more than Little. I would say, yeah, it's probably second line. Roslovic played 10 minutes least of any of their forwards. They're spreading it around really well. Only one forward played more than 20 minutes, and it was Scheifele. So that's a little.
Not even Wheeler.
Not even Wheeler. Wheeler played 19.
and that's including
Oh,
just
because Wheeler's a winger.
and,
Yeah.
but that's also including just under 5 minutes of power play
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
And that's, I mean, that's a sign of a pretty good team if they can play.
if you
a
can
whole
spread
bunch
it
of
out
guys,
like
yeah.
that, and you can roll your lines
Yeah.
very well like
No,
that.
the Jets have a good team. That's for sure, and
Well,
they'll be a tough out. But if they can't win the division, because they're second in the division,
They'll
oh
have to
boy.
play. Whoever
St.
wins
Louis.
that division plays St. Louis.
No. Whoever wins that division will play a wild card team.
Oh, yeah,
St.
and-
Louis is definitely making the third spot for my money, because they'd have to lose a lot of games. And oh man, nobody wants those wild card spots.
Jordan Binnington.
Yeah, he's really
Who's been
good.
fantastic. 18 starts, 5 shutouts.
15 wins, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's Andrew Hammond numbers right there.
What a run, man.
Yeah.
No. We were having
Bringing
this,
up Andrew Hammond.
Hey,
we were having this conversation.
He's a Minnesota
Hammer.
Wild. He's a Minnesota Wild legend.
We
He's
were
playing for 'em right
having
now.
this conversation a little bit earlier. Bennington has worked his way into the Calder conversation. If St. Louis makes the playoffs, does he win it?
Oh no, he goes from 5th to 4th.
It depends. If they make the playoffs and he keeps his .936 save percentage and the best save percentage and best goals against average in the league, I don't think there's a doubt in my mind that he will win solely based on the fact that a goalie is so much more crucial to a team's success than a forward.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you can say, because Elias Pettersson right now is the runaway favorite, I think. I think a lot of people will agree with that. But, I mean, I think Binnington will stand to lose some votes just on the fact that the Calder is voted on right after the regular season. Because I think if St. Louis goes on a tear, it'll be on his back.
And I also think that it's supposed to be decided after the regular season.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't announce it until significantly after the Stanley Cup finals are over and the playoffs are over. So I think there is a little bit of persuasion between what happens in the playoffs.
Oh, no. It's voted on before the playoffs.
Is it done?
Yeah, it's voted.
Done?
Yeah,
okay.
no.
But I mean, you still have the results of which teams make the playoffs and such like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's an interesting debate that we can sink into a little bit more when we do our predictions
for
in
awards.
a couple of shows' time. We were a little bit stupid and did them last week. If you missed them, no Marshall on last week's episode and no Marshall on this week's episode once again. Let's move on to Nashville, who picked up Marcus Granlund for Kevin Fiala.
Oh, boy.
They also went, what did you guys think
Michael
of it?
Granlund.
Michael Granlund, sorry.
Michael Granlund, yeah. Marcus Granlund's an ex-Calgary Flame who's not very good at hockey. Marcus, you're a good guy. No, I think Nashville did well here.
You're a good guy.
I think Nashville did well here. I don't know what Paul Fenton's doing in Minnesota. I mean, he traded Nino Niederreiter for Victor Rask, who has like 2 points since he got there.
Listen, that trade I don't understand.
Horrific.
I like this Kevin Fiala
I don't like
trade.
it at all. I don't like it. I mean, I guess it kind of fits Minnesota's window a little bit better.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah,
He's better than Fiala.
Oh, by far. Yeah, no.
Which is why I think if you're trying to win the cup right now,
yeah.
Fiala for Granlund, man.
Oh,
every day of the week.
David Poyle says yes to that every single day. Like, that's not even. Yeah, but I mean, Kevin Fiala. I mean, is he Swiss? I think he's Swiss, and he's got a really good chance to be the best Swiss player in the NHL.
It's him and Nico Hischier.
And Nino Niederreiter. But yeah.
Man, I don't know. I disagree. I really like Kevin Fiala. I like what he does. He hasn't put up those numbers, but I think it's a story similar to Marcus Granlund. Marcus Granlund struggled his first couple of years.
Mikhail Granlund.
Sorry, Michael struggled his first couple of years in the NHL to get going, but he has three.
On pace for three consecutive.
On pace for 3 consecutive 60-point seasons. I mean, I think Granlund gives the Preds some depth at center that they've needed for a while.
He's a winger.
He usually plays
but he
winger.
can play center.
Okay. I mean, yeah, yes and no. I think the Preds will continue going with Turris as their GC.
I do.
No, I agree with that. But if they have someone, go down,
it's good for depth. Yeah,
it's like Toronto
especially.
having Nylander or Calgary having Lindholm. They can both play wing or center.
I think it.
Also, Winnipeg having Lindholm. Have you heard of
Par
best,
Lindholm?
Yeah,
the best Lindholm.
Best Finnish player in the NHL.
Yeah, Par.
Finnish, Sweden.
I don't know.
Swedish? One or the other. Best Nordic player in the NHL.
There are 4 Lindholms. It's true. One for Anaheim, one for Winnipeg, one for Calgary, and one for the Colorado Avalanche.
What about doesn't Anaheim have one?
Yeah, Hampus. I said Anaheim.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Anyway, yeah. So
I don't listen to Mike.
It's all right. Nashville. Nashville. I think Granlund will fit in really well with their window. I mean, they're a more veteran team, and he's 27, and he fits right into that. It was my favorite of their 2 trades that they made.
Damn, and you didn't even like it.
No, I liked it for Nashville.
For Minnesota, you didn't like it.
Oh no, it was terrible for Minnesota. They got Kevin Fiala, who I think is a decidedly worse player, even though he's like not as far along in his development. I mean, he's a very, very shifty player, but I don't think he has the offensive upside to be able to put up a 69-point season like Mikhail Granlund. I mean, yeah. I think again, like you look at the rumors with Minnesota, and they apparently just missed out on getting Michael Frolik and a pick for Jason Zucker. Like, I don't know what their GM is doing personally.
That's kind of.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like that trade for both teams. I thought it made a lot of sense. But
for Wild, I like it a bit less. I don't think it's a huge downgrade
It's
from
not.
Granlund
It's
right
not as-
now.
it's not as
this
bad as the
season,
Niederreiter
yes,
trade.
it is a downgrade.
Yeah.
But I think for the future, Fiala does have good upside.
Yeah, he's not Victor Rask.
It's a gamble.
There's a lot more to like with Fiala
Yeah.
there. I mean, he'll be a good player to have. And you know what? I don't know. Maybe he just completely goes off the moon.
And they also just re-signed Eric Stahl.
Yeah, that was a good
Well,
signing.
that's the question I wanted to ask. Do you think that this started with the Preds inquiring about Eric Stahl?
But Eric Stahl.
Ooh. I don't know.
That's-
I doubt that they would have traded.
Because this,
I don't think they would have given up Eric Stahl.
but I
Because
mean,
I think Eric Stahl's a better player than Granlund. Well, he's older.
this trade kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't really hear
Yeah, I
rumors
didn't
about it
expect this
until
at
it
all.
dropped. So I really do think it might have started with an Eric Stahl decision and an Eric Stahl call, and it evolved into this. But that's something we may never know.
Oh, man, I
think,
forgot.
I think the inner workings of trades are actually really interesting, and I think somebody should write a piece about
Yeah,
it.
I forgot Minnesota also
there's
gave
some
up
great
Charlie
stories.
Coyle. That Charlie Coyle trade I didn't like very much either.
I didn't like it for Boston.
Really? Why?
I don't think Charlie Coyle's a very good
Well,
player.
I think he's a good player in the right role.
Good guy, though.
A good guy.
But why don't we move on to the other trade that Nashville made? And I really like this one. They picked up Wayne Simmons, and they gave up Ryan Hartman and a 2020 fourth-round pick that becomes a third-rounder if Nashville wins a playoff series. So it's about a third-round pick.
Yeah.
And I really think that this helps Nashville's power play. Nashville is the worst power play in the league. They're operating at 12.2%. That's pathetic.
It is pretty bad.
Well, it's because they only have defense.
And a lot of it is perimeter shots. They're not getting stuff through the net. They have Victor Arvidsson in front of the net, and God bless Victor Arvidsson, but he's not a net front guy.
No.
He
He can shoot
he
the puck,
shoots
though.
he shoots the puck like a machine gun, but he's just not good in front of the net. And I think that's where Wayne Simmons helps. I think Wayne Simmons is going to pick up a bunch of power play points, and he's really going to help improve that.
Yeah, I don't like this trade for Nashville. I don't see Wayne Simmons as a player who moves the needle very much anymore. I don't see him as an enormous upgrade on Ryan Hartman personally, who they gave up in the deal. I think Simmons has a slightly better scoring touch. I think Nashville definitely shouldn't re-sign Wayne Simmons because
No, I don't think they should either.
Any team that signs Wayne Simmons is just going to be having an
Terrible time.
an awful contract. Like, oh my goodness. I mean, you saw what Calgary's getting with James Neal. That'll be Wayne Simmons next year. I 100% guarantee it.
It's going to be worse.
Oh.
I think Wayne Simmons on this huge, like, he's on a cliff right now.
Precipitous decline.
Wayne Simmons
Wow,
definitely
big word.
does have some tough miles on his body.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big physical
He's a
guy, and when
beast.
you play that kind of game, it wears your body a lot more than when you don't.
Wow, look at this. Wayne Simmons' first game with Nashville, his Corsi. 6 Corsi attempts for, 27 Corsi attempts against.
Holy.
Small sample size, but ooh, ouch. Yeah, that
Yep.
is-
So Nashville's gonna win the Stanley Cup because Wayne Simmons is the GOAT.
Yeah, he's going to be
Scarborough, Ontario native.
Is he a Scarborough, Ontario?
is on
Oh,
Scarborough,
wow, I
Ontario
hate him
native.
even more now.
I love those GTA names.
Scarborough.
Scarborough.
Wow.
Scarborough Mandams.
Oh, there, yeah, fam. Wagwan. Shorty, I tell you ting, fam.
I think
Oh,
that-
you got
I think,
tings, bud?
Ah.
I don't think I don't think the Toronto Maple Leafs will ever be very good until they reunite the Muskoka Five.
We need
Nobody.
Thomas Caberlet, bro.
Bring me Darcy Tucker up. To
Dirty Tucker, bud.
Matt Sundin
Ty
refuses to
Domi.
wave. What?
Ty motherfucking Domi.
Hey, do you know why the Maple Leafs didn't want to retire Matt Sundin's jersey? Because they didn't think he'd wave to the crowd.
I love Matt Sundin. Favorite Leaf.
That's funny.
He didn't wave his
Favorite
no trade
Leaf.
clause.
He also doesn't like. Oh, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
He also like doesn't do public relation stuff.
He's just gone to Sweden and has been like,
Chills
I'm gonna
with
live
his
my
fam.
life now.
Yeah, he's killing it. Like,
I respect that.
I
Matt-
respect it for sure.
Well,
Matt
100%.
Sundin scored the best 500th goal of all time. Overtime.
That's-
cap off a hat trick.
Clap
over
bomb.
Mika Kiprasov's glove. Vezina Trophy winning goalie, like on Hockey Night in Canada.
He's
There you
trash
go.
now.
First
though.
Maple Leafs memory. That's what made me a fan.
My first Maple Leafs memory is watching Wendell Clark's jersey get retired, and they just got destroyed against Montreal that game. Oh man, I think Nikolai.
That wasn't anything new.
I think Nikolai Kulemin scored their only goal in
7-0.
that game.
7-0.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know. I don't have a first Leafs memory. All I remember is just like Caberlet looking like a pylon sometimes.
How did they get a first round pick for Caberlet?
I don't know.
Like they traded
I don't
they
know.
traded him so late in his career to Boston, and he wins a cup. Which
Yeah,
is
it's so funny.
hilarious. Like what did they get for Caberlet? They got Joe Colborne. Oh my goodness. Now I'm triggered. A first-round pick and a second-round pick. So
He was good.
Thomas
Caberlet?
Carberlet was the GOAT.
He was very good.
he
He was
was-
the only bright
he
spot.
was a rental, and he got that much. A
He
Caberlet
was
who was
that good.
He was 33.
He was that good.
Yikes. He had 38 points in 58 games. Okay, yeah, understandable.
That good.
Understandable.
Norris Trophy right there.
0 goals in the playoffs because he's Thomas Caberlet. He didn't know how to shoot the puck. He passed it into the net wherever he scored. It's true. That was Thomas Caberlet.
That's a fact. He never shot the puck. He only passed it.
Gotta keep that in the.
11 assists, though. 11 assists.
Yeah, it's like Jaromir Jagr when he made the playoffs with Boston in 2013. He didn't score a single play. Boston should just never make deadline trades. That's why they didn't make a big one this year, except for Johansson. Don't waste your assets, Boston. Doesn't
Boston sucks. I hope you waste all your assets.
Boston, I hope you trade everybody and never make the playoffs
I hope you
again.
give us Pasternak.
I love
Oh,
Okay.
he's so good.
Okay. Next.
Why don't we move on to Mark? Matt,
It's Matt's.
Mats.
Is it Matt's?
You literally had
Yeah.
a star named Mats for the Leafs for like 20 years.
Yeah. Oh, it's written right there.
Mats
I'm an idiot.
Zuccarello,
Matt Zuccarello moved to the Dallas Stars.
which was a deal I didn't expect. I thought he'd go to Calgary, but I
You just want everybody.
No. There was a lot of smoke around Zuccarello going to Calgary, and there was actually a lot of smoke around a lot of players going to Calgary. But Zuccarello going to Dallas didn't make a lot of sense because like they're not really that good.
But in return for Zuccarello, the Stars gave up a second-round pick that becomes a first-round pick
If they win two
the
playoff
Stars win
rounds.
2 playoff rounds, and a third-round pick for next year that becomes a first-round pick if the
Stars
Stars
resign him.
extend Zuccarello.
Which is ridiculous. Can you imagine giving up 2 firsts for Matt Zuccarello?
Oh, God.
baby.
In his first game, he got a goal,
No, that's positive.
an assist.
That's also a positive.
He played 13 minutes
That's a little lower than I would expect. But
because
okay.
he broke his arm.
Oh,
And he is now out for the 4 weeks or so.
4 weeks. He's
Could come
expected to
back.
miss a month. He could be back if Dallas does end up making the playoffs,
which they might.
which they might.
No, there's still a little bit of time before. No, that's in a month. It's over.
Yeah, it's
winding down.
It's the end of February right now. Yeah.
Jesus.
Wait, I thought it was
No, it's-
March.
So Dallas, yeah, it's February 27th.
February 27th,
Oh my
dude.
God.
Just one more day left in February because it's the short one. Dallas has.
I love the short one.
The short one is my favorite.
That's what
Dallas.
she said.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Thing is, Dallas is such a boring team. Like, oh my god, they don't score.
Except for Tyler Sagan, Radulov, and Jamie Benn.
When did
like
that happen?
They
let's not
suck.
talk about Tyler Sagan.
Tyler Sagan is the man.
He is the man.
Okay,
Let's
buddy.
leave it
In an
there.
interview, what's it called? Like the assistant coach was like doing an interview like on TV, like while they were in a game, and Tyler was like sitting right in front of him, and so the coach like standing behind him, and Tyler's just sitting down there like. He keeps looking back at his coach, like listening to the interview, and he was like, and someone asked him about like how the teams, and he's like, yeah, and like Tyler Sagan's like having a killer night, and he's like, yeah, he's like,
Tyler Seguin seems like one of the personalities that the league needs to bring out a little bit more.
he's so funny. Have you
should.
seen his cribs or whatever that Barstool did?
no.
No.
Oh, he he just walks around his house. He has so much cool stuff. He has like a trophy room, but it's like the biggest room I've ever seen. And it's
I mean,
because
he should make Dallas Stars games more exciting because I think their games have involved a total of 324 goals, which is good for 5.1 goals per game. For contrast, the Toronto Maple Leafs games
a lot more.
Let's
So
see,
many more 'cause they
221
can't
plus
defend and score a lot.
176 divided by 62, 6.4 goals a game. That's over a goal more. That's
Man, we need just half a goal more per game.
why? To get up
Do
to
the
Add it
math.
up.
Do the math,
Add it
buddy.
up.
Do the math,
I
buddy.
mean, why?
What's 6.4 plus?
Oh.
Oh my god. Okay.
Six
Mike's
point-
not invited back to this
six-
podcast.
Never coming back, buddy.
Oh no.
You got to understand the 69 references.
Yeah, whatever. What about the first 99 references?
I like the last one. Reference.
I prefer those first 99%, but
Wayne Gretzky's a very good player.
100% best one to ever play. The GOAT.
The great one.
Miss
Don't disrespect Gretz.
Miss
That-
100%.
you know that little Dicky song?
Oh,
He's
Gretz.
like, he says something like,
Don't like hockey or something
no. He's like,
It's
my dick ain't Gretzky, but it's still a good one, and it's really funny. So from Matt Zuccarello, moving on from there.
Why don't we talk about the blockbuster of the trade deadline, the biggest trade ever to happen in trade deadline history?
Oscar Fantenberg for a 4th-round pick.
No, so close. The Leafs move Par Lindholm for
already
Nick
messed it up.
Petan. I know.
Yo, Nick Petan, good depth piece.
Nick Petan, World Junior
I really
captain.
good pro.
I really like that move, man.
I mean,
I don't know how much it sways the needle right now, but the Leafs have proved that their development team is fantastic.
Yeah, Petan could be good.
He could be
He
good.
had a lot of hype. He's been on some good teams.
He was the captain of the World Junior Canada team like 2 years ago, and there's a curse of those players because they're never good in the NHL. So I'd be a little bit worried if I was.
You know who was captain of the team? I think two.
Curtis Lazar. No. Dylan
Wasn't
Dubé.
Tom? No, Tom Chabot was an alternate captain.
Yeah, Dylan Dubé was the captain that year. Calgary Flames prospect, great player.
What do you think of the move, Ian?
I like it. I think it's a good depth piece, obviously, for the Leafs and for the Jets. Like, Par Lindholm's been great for us. Like, he doesn't seem to fit in the lineup consistently, though. He has been, like, a lot, but he's mostly been playing wing, and we brought him in to be our fourth-line center, but then Goat's been amazing. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we need that winger piece anymore. We have guys that are good enough to play those wing positions. If we like, now we have Nick Petan too. He can play that wing position, and he can play center. I've been told.
Mm-hmm.
So
his hockey reference page says he's a centerman.
Nick Petan looks like he's getting the Frankie Corrado treatment this year. He's played 13 games and that's it. What a player, eh?
Does he need to pass through waivers to be sent down?
Is he a two-way contract or one-way?
It doesn't matter.
No, that's just. It's not like NHL GM mode.
That's about salary.
It's salary.
Yeah.
I learned that.
I didn't learn
very
that.
recently.
Yeah.
A two-way contract just means you make different amounts of money at different levels.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Okay.
Nick Petan.
How much is he making?
Is he waiver exempt?
I don't even know where he is.
What is waiver exempt? Under $1 million or something?
I mean, it says he's with the Marlies right now. So
Okay.
there you go.
I think that.
Wait, no,
that'll
that's not true. Just kidding. He's in the NHL right now.
It'll say right there if he's. waivers.
Is he playing tonight?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Okay. Anyways, I would like to see Nick Petan play a little bit of time with the Marlies. Maybe get a little bit overripe down there.
Yeah.
Grow with the Leaf system. Maybe be called up. I really like Trevor Moore.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Such a good player.
Yeah.
Trevor Moore. Frederic Gauthier has 3 goals this year.
That's
And two of them are in like the past, not that long.
All 3 of them have been assisted by Trevor Moore.
Wow.
And Trevor Moore has done that in 8 games.
Wow.
I really like Trevor Moore, and I think that that move made the team just a little bit better.
Personally,
Hold on. Our starting line for the Leafs tonight was Janssen, Matthews, Kapanen.
wait, why not?
I love that.
Where's Tyler Ennis?
Fourth line, third line.
I love that, man.
But hold on, I saw a funny thing that it just came up. It was like McDavid or Matthews over McDavid confirmed. It was just like Matthews beating McDavid in a face-off. So confirmed Matthews is better than McDavid.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on that?
Matthews versus McDavid.
No, I don't want to actually know your opinion. It's
mean, McDavid is better. That's basically what I have to say. I think
Very intellectual discussion right here.
Yep, McDavid is better. Matthews is probably a top 10 player in the
Why did you
league.
hestate on that?
I'm not.
Are you gonna go top 20?
I might go top 15.
That's pretty low.
I mean, who I would have Kucherov ahead of him. I would have Crosby ahead of him. I would have McDavid ahead of him. I would have Ovechkin ahead of him.
Okay, so 4.
That's 4. Well, I'm not done yet.
Keep going.
I would have McKinnon ahead of him. It's close.
That's arguable.
I think it's arguable, but I think I'd have Matthews ahead of him.
He's a better two-way player. McKinnon is very offensive heavy.
That's
Trash in the defensive zone.
I mean,
Look at his team, man.
I would have Patrick Kane ahead of him.
I wouldn't.
I would not. He's a winger.
Patrick
Does
Kane
not give as much to a team.
So is Kucherov.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
Kucherov
Kucherov
is
has
101 points right now.
So Patrick Kane is
93.
93.
Yeah, that's 8 points less.
That's
a significant
That's
8 points.
That's 8 more points than Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid plays on the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you could say Kucherov plays on the Lightning, and then it's
Yeah.
opposite. He should be underlined.
I mean, McDavid gets a ton of hype. He does get a ton of
Because
hype.
he's the fastest
Yeah.
and best player in the league.
Yep. I just think to call him generational when there are so many good, incredible offensive players in the league is just a little bit misguided.
It's fair.
Because you look at Crosby when he was sort of in his third, fourth years, he was like 20 points ahead
Are
of
you talking
everybody.
about McDavid or?
No, I'm talking about how Crosby was the generational player.
Yeah.
And he was, because he was always 20 points, 30 points ahead of everybody. Whereas McDavid...
No, he wasn't.
Sure he was. Yeah, in his second year, he won the Art Ross by
Yeah, I
like
know.
30 points. Connor McDavid has never...
So for his whole
been a
career,
player
you're
like
saying he's
that.
20, 30 points ahead of everybody.
No, God no. Because
Yeah, but then Connor McDavid did that last
because-
year.
No, he didn't. No, he won the scoring race by like...
And 2 years ago, he had
6.
100 points, which was like the first 100-point season recorded in a couple of years, because we are in a scoring slump.
I mean, it's going back up this
Going
year.
back up, yeah. 101 points already in 60 games. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, McDavid's a special player, and I think he's the best in the league. But
If you just look at an eye test, McDavid's the best in the player,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you can't look at stats
no,
really to show who's
no,
the actual best player in the league. You have to look at eye
subjectively
test.
too. And I mean, McDavid, you can't go wrong with a lot of the players at the top. But all I'm saying is that there's just really no clear cut number one, if you ask me.
I would pick Crosby because he has a better leadership mentality, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know about McDavid as a captain, but I'm not in the room, so I can't.
Yeah, I don't
say.
know.
I don't know. I think I'd pick Connor McDavid. I think.
As a player, I think Connor McDavid is more skilled.
But
And I think
How
that
did
he-
this turn into a McDavid?
I don't know.
I don't know.
My bad.
I don't know if he's the guy who will drag the team to a Stanley Cup. Personally,
That's fair.
We'll see.
You don't know his playoffs. He's
But-
been to one
exactly.
playoffs.
And I think maybe you
second
get him
round.
on. I think
We'll
I
see
think
what happens in 2026.
a lot of that is organizational. I think a lot of it's organizational because the
100%.
Oilers organization is. Boy, there's a lot I could say about that.
Yeah, but why don't we save it for another time, Mike?
probably.
Maybe we'll have you on during the summer once again. Why don't we shift on to our last topic? We're getting just a little bit over time here.
Hey, that's
Leafs
cool.
versus Isles tomorrow night. John Tavares' return to Nassau Coliseum and to the island. And I know you haven't seen it.
I haven't
full
seen it
3-minute video. Have you seen any of it?
No, I haven't seen any of
Oh,
it.
this is going to be a treat.
No.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, there was a video that was posted online by fans who called John Tavares a couple of bad things and attacked him because he left the island. I wonder if they're still salty. So neither of you have seen it. I'm going to play the video right now, and we can just all enjoy this.
Okay.
It's an ad.
Cut this out.
I love ads.
Don't you love ads?
Did you know you can drive a new Accord LX for only
Oh.
Did you know you could drive a new Accord?
Whoa!
When is Honda going to send the check?
I love Honda. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Dear John, dear John.
I love the music already.
Dear John Tavares,
And with the first overall pick, the New York Islanders select John Tavares.
John Tavares.
On June 26, 2009, you became a New York Islander.
you were the answer to all our prayers.
For 9 years, you were part of the New York Islanders, and many of those years, you were the captain.
You were seen as the face of the franchise, the savior. You were the chosen one.
Oh my God, is he
We
Harry
looked
Potter?
Up to you. We looked up to you. You were not just only the Islanders captain. You were the fans captain too.
We thought you were a class act, but looks like it was just all an act.
Oh
Do you
no.
remember saying that you loved Long
Do
Island?
you
I've
remember?
always stated how much I love it here.
Do you remember saying how great players stay with their team their whole careers?
Why
and how
couldn't you
you
convince
wanted
Kyle
to do the
Okposo
same?
to stay?
This is obviously where I hope to be, and I've always stated that.
Do you remember saying how you wanted to lift a Stanley Cup here in Nassau
No.
with the Islanders?
No one wants to
think-
lift it at Nassau Coliseum.
They wanna
Trash
lift-
arena.
yeah.
Is
Win
now
it on
a
the road.
Toronto Maple Leaf.
Exiled? Oh my God, what a
I
headline.
call myself a Maple Leaf.
Yeah.
July 1st, you chose to go home to Toronto.
Oh.
You. It's all down. You hurt us all.
You really just seem to care about yourself, not all those young Islander fans whose hearts you've broken.
You went from being the
Stutter.
savior, the chosen one,
Okay, stop calling him the chosen one.
Traitor.
snake, pajama boy.
Pajama boy.
Forgive you for those 9 years
He's wearing bed
that
sheets,
you
not pajamas.
systematically destroyed.
Yeah, there's no pajamas. You
Yeah,
don't
there's
know.
no
He's probably
pajamas.
naked under there.
Systematically destroyed.
Wow,
This
he's a
happened when
friggin'
it did,
drone.
So my son didn't grow up having that heartbreak, having you leave. He's too young to understand.
Can't
that.
believe this.
If you had stayed,
It's so
you
petty.
would have been under the best coach, Barry Trotz. You would have gone
Jury's
from
out.
being a good player to a great player.
Your legacy as an Islander, it's tarnished
Run up.
forever.
Tarnish.
God, if you're gonna talk about legacy, wear a jersey of a guy who's been with the Islanders for more than 2 years. Matt Barzal.
Guess what?
Guess
We're
what?
fine. The
We're
Islanders are
fine.
going to win a cup without you.
Yeah, you
With
sure
the
about that?
kid who won the Calder.
What if
Good
he
luck.
ever wants to
The
come?
kid who won the call.
What if he ever says like, "I want to come back to the Islanders"? Like, what if he? Maybe he would have said that one day.
He has a name.
Like if he was past his
name
prime,
is
the Leafs
Matt
didn't want to sign
Barzal.
him.
Here's Barzal.
Barzal.
Scores! Matt Barzal with a hat trick tonight in Toronto.
Did they
You
forget who
might
their
remember
captain is?
him. He scored a hat trick against your
It's not
team.
Matt Barzal.
Has the torch being passed on from John Tavares to Matt Barzal?
Goodbye, John.
Thanks for leaving. Say good riddance. Say bye.
And February 28th, we will chant as loud as possible, "We don't need you." Because we don't.
Okay.
Wow.
That sounds like the most Canadian.
That is like the pot van sucks, but like for the Islanders.
That is literally the cringiest video I've ever seen in my life.
I think in a week where a Leafs fan literally ate cat shit, that's the most embarrassing thing that's happened.
Oh my goodness! Like if I'm Anders Lee, I'm the Islanders captain, and my deal is up at the end of the year, and I watch that video, I don't want to stay.
I would totally leave. I'd be like, fuck these guys.
I don't wanna
These guys
stay.
are gonna treat a guy that
Yeah.
gave you 9 years of
Jeez
prime
Louise.
and played his heart out for you guys for 9 goddamn years.
Yeah.
9 goddamn years, might I add, where management did nothing.
Did nothing.
Yeah,
They signed
put nothing
Andrew
around him.
Ladd to like the contract that will not die. Yeah.
Like, you're kidding me.
Oh man, that is brutal.
If I was Anders Lee, I'd yeet.
Yeah, really.
Just this bitch empty. Yeet.
Maybe they don't need him either. Just
Yeah, you don't need him.
Call
What,
up-
you don't need fucking anybody?
call
Like,
up
are you
Josh
kidding me?
Hosang.
I wonder what happens when Duclair, not Duclair, sorry, when
What? Michael
when
to alcohol?
when Barzal is up and what he decides to do.
Oh, maybe he'll go to Phoenix.
Maybe his
Phoenix?
maybe his pajamas
There
will
you
come
go.
out and he'll go home.
That's the thing that pisses me off is that John Tavares isn't wearing pajamas in that picture. He's under bed sheets. Like
Well,
how
you're
does
assuming he's wearing pajamas,
And you
but
could-
he's probably naked.
and like you could call like
That's a child.
Islanders fans have got to be. I just don't get why they aren't being so creative because you can turn sheet into a swear. Yeah, like you can
Sheet
use
boy?
yeah.
Sheet
like-
boy doesn't roll off the tongue like Pajama Boy does. I think
yeah,
my favorite
yeah.
part of the video is when they put the side by side in the picture of John Tavares
Yeah, that's-
tweeted, and they both
Pajama
went
boy.
Pajama Boy.
That was when they blew all their editing budget. They like
It's like, yo, look how cool we can do this one shot.
yeah, we'll do a sweet PowerPoint transition next. Just have like the tiles flying in.
All $8 of their editing budget went into that. Like 2
Oh,
seconds.
man.
Pajama boy.
I've never seen anything like that. Like when was the last time a big star left a team like Tavares did? Did like
Like left?
yeah left
Like walk.
100% left? Was it Brad Richards?
I don't know. He was the biggest free agent signing since
Parise.
Parise.
It's got to be Parise.
He's not as good as Tavares.
He was
No,
I
but
wouldn't put him on that level.
Parise had a 45 goal season the year before he left.
I think
mean,
Parise Insider is the big. John Tavares is the biggest move since Parise.
It's got to be the biggest one
Yeah,
since
since
Parise.
Parise, but-
and you know what? Oh, no, Kovalchuk. That's what it was. And Devils fans hate Kovalchuk. Yeah.
Well, he didn't really walk. He just kind of like
he
went-
retired. He left and
He retired, and then
yeah.
they had to trade his rights.
Yeah, because no,
to the
he-
Kings.
Yeah,
Because he still had rights for
yeah.
like 30 years or something.
Kovalchuk, yeah.
Stupid.
Well, yeah, because that's how Russian the KHL transfer works. It doesn't
Yeah.
die. Yeah. Man, yeah, Devils fans don't like Kovalchuk either. But
I
I
hate
think
him.
the
But like, they don't care anymore because
No.
it's so old. They're like, whatever. Like, we got over
yeah,
it.
the reaction tomorrow though, whole baby.
Piss off, Islander fans.
I really hope John Tavares scores a hat trick.
Wouldn't that be something? I actually kind of hope he doesn't because I think they might throw things at him if he does. And like, I'm not a Leafs fan by any measure, but I don't want to see John Tavares hit in the head with a beer can. So
No,
It's okay. 25% of the arena won't be able to see it.
no, it's in Nassau. They have fine sight lines there. I think you're thinking of Barclays. Hate to be
So, like,
hate to be a pedant.
Only
but
25% of their seats will be filled anyway.
There you go.
No, 100%.
more
Just
like it.
75% of them will be Leafs fans.
Oh,
And I saw
understand.
I saw something on Twitter. Islanders fans are like, "Let's just be silent when he touches the puck."
Silent.
And I was like,
That's even worse.
Perfect. Thank you. Do that.
So you won't change when he touches the puck.
Wow.
Oh, oh boy.
That'd be so funny. Imagine the whole arena
like,
went
just goes
silent.
deathly
And then the Leafs
quiet.
just go Leafs, go,
Yeah.
go, Leafs, go.
Yeah.
Because Leafs have better support on the road than they do at home.
It's
true.
It's true
Because that's where the real fans go.
yeah. Why would you buy a ticket?
Tickets are cheaper.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you.
And traveling costs are also cheaper.
What,
Yeah.
together? Yeah, 100%.
Like you can go to California, see a Leafs game, and come back for less than going to see a Leafs game here in the 300 section. In Toronto.
In Toronto, yeah.
In Canada.
Yeah.
Toronto, Canada.
It's Toronto, Canada. Yep.
I'm just very excited for that one.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be super funny.
Edmonton just
Yep,
scored
I
to
know.
put the Leafs down 1-0 tonight,
It's the first period.
and the Oilers.
Don't you know the first period doesn't count?
The Oilers are out shooting the Leafs 10-2.
It's the first
It's the
period.
first
It's
period.
the first period.
This team doesn't start on time, and I've accepted it.
Was it McDavid?
But
I don't know.
why
Who's
don't we wrap this one up, boys? It's been a good pod. Just to end this off, favorite deal of the trade deadline and your winner.
Winner of the trade deadline?
Winner.
Oh boy.
Probably Vegas.
Oh, you go next.
No, you go next time because
Okay.
I'm going to end the show.
All right, that's fine. I don't really have. Oh, boy, I mean, I look at the teams in the Western Conference because that's the conference that I follow more. And I think all of them, I see 5 main contenders in the West. I see Calgary, I see San Jose, I see Vegas, I see Nashville, and I see Winnipeg. And I think all of them did the things that they needed to do at the deadline, because there's one team that is far ahead of the others in Calgary, and they didn't make a move because they didn't need to. In terms of the teams that made the moves, I like Vegas getting Stone. I think he's a very good player. I don't like Nashville getting Simmons because I don't think he's a very good player. So I'm gonna go.
This is a one-word answer, Mike.
I'm gonna go with the San Jose Sharks getting Gustav Nyquist.
Okay.
Oh, damn!
Which
is a good one
forgot
that we-
about that.
Which is
Yeah.
a deal
Talk
that we
about.
didn't talk about,
Yeah, I
but
know.
Gustav
big one.
Nyquist is gonna be a good player for them, and if any team's gonna close the gap on Calgary for first, it'll be San Jose.
Okay, fair. I really like Nashville. I like the moves they made. I know that you don't agree with
Not
me,
for
but
me.
I was going to say Nashville if I didn't say Vegas.
I really like Nashville. Why don't we call this a show, boys? Thanks, Mike. I really
Yep.
do appreciate you
No
coming
problem.
in.
No
It's
problem.
been a pleasure. We'll have to get you back on sometime.
All right, works for me.
If you want to plug anything you want,
I
do you have a plug?
A plug. I enjoy 9-volt plugs.
Okay, that's cool. Ian, do you have a favorite plug? Okay, I think Ian's done with this episode.
Follow me
Why
on-
don't we call it a show?
Follow me on Instagram and
I
Twitter.
don't care about plugs.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Plug.
need some for your
My
hair.
favorite plug is the European one. I think it looks nice.
You need some plugs for your hair.
2 prongs.
Yeah, the 2 prongs.
It's just like double penetration.
Okay.
And why not on that?
Okay, yeah, it's
Beautiful note. Let's end it there. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Real Good Procast. My name is Declan DeBarb. Ian Blumenthal, as always. Mike Gould. Once again, thank you very much for joining, and have a good one, folks. Goodbye.
Follow your hosts on Twitter at DeBarp14, at Ian_Blumenthal, and at Marshall Healy. Don't forget to follow the podcast at Real Good Procast.